would it be back in the 20s and 30s? Man, I was enjoying that. Oh, I was enjoying that. We don't get to experience that too often. We really don't down here in Texas. No, we do not get to experience that at all. It's always freaking 70 degrees, sometimes 80 degrees. We do not get a break. You know, it's like, man, and sometimes I'll be like, I want to move somewhere. Well, I can actually have 4 seasons, but the thing is, I just love being in this state. Now, I would have to move maybe to northern Texas to get 4 seasons, but man, it's just like, I don't know. I'm definitely like why I'm in here in the Houston area. So, you know, but thank you, those of you who coming in. I was talking to the people on the app, you know, a little bit before we got started here on these other platforms. Make sure you download the African Diaspora News Channel app in the Google Play and Apple App Store. I had a question yesterday by someone say, well, okay, what if I don't really do apps? Is it a website? Yes, AfricanDiasporaNews.org. You can go join a membership and you can watch it on your tablet. If you don't, well, of course, tablets would be apps. But if you just want to watch on your computer, you definitely could go there, sign up, and it'd be awesome, right? Because maybe you like to watch stuff on your computer at work. You don't want to watch it on your phone. So, yes, we got the website and the app but according to research, more people look at apps these days. So that's the purpose of us having, you know, an app. So let me check something real quick. All right, everything sounds good on this end. And he said, Michigan, oh no. Brother Sharif, my camera professional, he come from Detroit. And he told me that all them years he was in Detroit, he said, nah, he cool down here because he said he don't want to be dealing with negative anything. Now, I'm not saying I want to listen, because my limit, I tell y'all my limit, and I say, oh no, I can't. Anything under 20, I can't do it. Because like I said before, that 2 years ago, when we went up to Rhode Island and Massachusetts area, you know, I was going back and forth between those two because I was actually staying in Lincoln, Rhode Island, but, you know, I was going over to New Bedford area, Massachusetts. We were going back and forth between all that because first I was supposed to stay in Providence, Rhode Island, but the room they gave me didn't have the right situation, so I had to go. I went to Lincoln, Rhode Island, right? But it got cold out there. Man, it got down to 9 degrees over there. And that night we went out and I was breathing in that cold air. That's what got me, that cold air. So 20, I realized 20 is my limit. I'm cool up to 20. Anything under 20, I can't do. That same time, I had got the flu. Oh boy, that flu. Ooh, that flu was something else. And then my wife had got pneumonia. We both got sick. Like, oh man. God, I'll never forget that. So yeah. That 20 is my limit. Anything, y'all in Michigan, y'all deal with, I can't do that. I cannot do that. Yeah, you say the summertime, you know, just like Chicago. I like going to Chicago, but I don't want to be in Chicago in the winter months. I think the closest I went toward, I guess, fall was October, was the last time I was in Chicago. But yeah, them winter months in Chicago and how y'all get down to, you know, this year, y'all was -11. Sister Carter Trust that told me when I did an interview with her, it was -8 on the Phillip Scott podcast. We saw that interview. I can't, no, I would not leave my house for nothing. And I like getting up in the morning. You know, I got my routine now. I go to the gym and I'm an early bird of going to the gym. So shoot, I wouldn't want to leave the house. I'm cool on that. Y'all can keep that. You know, in Dallas or somewhere like that, you know, that temperature is cool. So let me check my amount of people who's coming in here. Where we at? All right, give people a few more minutes. Let me share this real quick. We'll get started. As I said before, we got to work on our podcast, you know, for the night. Make sure you go see the Phillip Scott podcast at 10 p.m. Central Standard Time. That's usually the time I do our podcast. I have a lot of y'all show up there. on the podcast. So I greatly appreciate that. I had a conversation, I think, with YouTube today about, well, they put me on something about notifications. So on the Phil Scott podcast, I get way more people at 10 o'clock at night watching that, and I never understood why. Well, they explained to me that they only send 3 notifications a day on the channel. So if you post multiple things like we do a day, after that 3rd notification that will come to you from this channel, they don't send anymore. So they don't give us the ability to say, okay, can we choose what notifications go out? Like, can we give a priority like lives or, certain content, right? I wish they would do that, because I would say, hey, make the priority, alive or something like that if we schedule it, so everybody know what's going on. Because I get a lot of people coming in and say, oh man, I didn't get to see it. I didn't know you was live. Well, that's why. Because they explain to me they don't want to inundate your phone with a bunch of notifications, and I get it. I actually get it, because imagine, you constantly get notifications all freaking day, on your phone. Some people may get annoyed by it, so I get it. So what I will say, come to the channel every day. I'm prioritizing live streaming more now, because that's what y'all asked me to do. So I'm trying to set a time, 7 p.m. is a good time. I would like to do it earlier, but maybe starting February the 1st, I could say, hey, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, we're live streaming on the African Diaspora News Channel, unless I say different. And then 10 p.m., we have our podcast, and everything. So let y'all know just to come check, because you can't depend on the notifications. All right. Okay, well, if somebody needs some earth and cow dung huts, you need to go to the village, probably in the motherland with that. We don't do that over here. I mean, but you welcome to go do that. That's cool. If that's how you want to live. All right, we good to go now. So let's go ahead and get started, because like I said, I got to knock this out, then I got to get my podcast going. So there's a video that we want to review, and you see what we put up on the screen here. And, that is something I'm noticing a little bit more, that people kind of get offended, when Black Americans love our culture. And I'm using the term people. I'm not pointing out a particular group. I'm talking about people. We see some people with even the diaspora taking issue with that. And we definitely know the folks have always took issue, and anybody else with us loving our culture. The folks have invested more time into affecting the self-esteem of Black Americans, because when you know who you are, when you love who you are, their need for white validation, because, they feed off of us wanting validation from them. You understand? And when you know who you are and proud of who you are, we don't care about them like that, right? We don't care. I mean, you see them, okay, you do you, but I don't care about that. I don't care about your validation. Your opinion don't matter to me like that. Nothing your culture's your culture, do you, right? But I'm over here doing me, and I'm proud of doing me and doing what we do in our particular culture. And some people who immigrate here, notice I say some, from the diaspora, are taking issue with us loving our culture, because when we love our culture and center ourselves on ourselves and trying to build some things up, some people take issue with that, because really they don't love who they are. Because if you love who you are, you're never offended by somebody else having love for themselves. You understand? And some people get offended when we have love for our culture and even talk about our history of fighting back, our history of uprisings. When people leave their homeland to come here and they say it's the government, it's this one, it's that one, and we never did that, some people feel, kind of a way about it. And it's not our fault. They feel like, dog, why didn't we do that as a people? Why didn't we? I had to come way over here to a land I didn't grow up in to be around people that's not from my culture. It's not my homeland. And it's easier for me back home. Why did we all leave? Why didn't we fight for anything? And so when you see us having cultural pride in ourselves and even our collective fight, so much so that we have opened up the doors for everybody to come in here, literally, some people feel some sort of way about that, because they're not happy within themselves. It has nothing to do with us. So that's, I'm gonna cue up a video of one of our sisters that she was at Emory University, was responding to, unfortunately, a immigrant from the diaspora, took issue in saying that Black Americans are clout chasing our own culture. We don't have to clout chase anything. Clout chasing is fake. It's nothing for us to chase. But let's let our sister speak on this and let's get with it.
I'm just gonna say that Black American culture is like one of the most exported products in the entire world. So I'm just gonna say, like, clout chasing doesn't even make sense. I feel like Black Americans, we are comfortable in our culture, we are proud of our culture, we don't want to be anything else but Black American. And I feel like people have so much access to like us and like our culture and our food and our language and our clothing, our fashion, our music. And I feel like we forget that because it gets painted as like American culture, when American culture is Black culture minus like slavery and like and like we got colonization, terrorism, or whatever. And I think that people have so much access to our culture that it's been essentially diluted in a sense to where like you can't differentiate, like not differentiate, but like it's become like more of like a pop culture rather than a specifically Black American culture. And I feel like you saying clout chasing really doesn't make sense. I feel like people are clout chasing us.
Okay, now I normally play something. Now I'm gonna play it again, and I'm gonna stop in certain points because I want to, address, what this sister is saying here.
I'm just gonna say that Black American culture is like one of the most exported products in the entire world.
100% correct. I have traveled and I have seen Black American culture in European countries. I've seen it definitely in the African continent, Black American culture. So she's 100% right. You got people in different Asian countries are dressing like Black people. You got Asians out there doing their hair like Black people, literally doing afros, doing the locks, the braids, the baby hair, everything that Black folks do. None of us is copying them, but they copying us. But let's continue.
So I'm just gonna say, like, clout chasing doesn't even make sense.
And using the term clout chasing about our culture, that's coming from a spirit of jealousy. How are we gonna clout chase our own culture? That's like me clout chasing my own car or clout chasing my own home. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't make sense. It's mine. How am I clout chasing?
Black Americans, we are comfortable in our culture. We are proud of our culture. We don't want to be anything else but Black American.
And see, right, what she just said there, that's what's bothering people. You understand? You see, some people, and I'm talking about people that come here, I'm talking about from all groups, they immigrate and they want to assimilate into whiteness. See, we're not trying to assimilate into whiteness. That's not what we're trying to do at all. And because see, in order to assimilate into whiteness, you got to literally lower yourself so they can be superior over you, and you choosing that. You cannot go into whiteness without lowering yourself and letting them know you're superior and I'm not happy within myself and my culture. That's why I'm lowering myself to get accepted by you, and hopefully you can let me in the club. You understand? Black Americans, we don't have to do that. And that's why we can hold our shoulders back and talk very loud and proud. And so when we doing that, especially if you come from the diaspora and did that, right? Some of you do have offense with us. So we didn't have to lower ourselves down to no white supremacists. We have fought them.
I feel like people have so much access to like us and like our culture and our food and our language and our clothing, our fashion, our music.
And because now we are as a community gatekeeping our culture and saying, wait a minute, we're going to let's do what other groups are doing. Look, remember Michael B. Jordan when he tried to come out with that rum called Juve? What happened? Nicki Minaj jumped up and said, "Hey, you can't call that Juve. That's our Trinidadian culture." They was quick to jump on Michael B. Jordan about that. They jumped on him so much he took the look at it away and got rid of it. I guess he'll come out with something else later. So they were gatekeeping their culture. Fine, no problem. But when Black Americans say, okay, we're going to start gatekeeping our culture, now that is an issue and problem. And no, it's not an issue and problem because everybody else has done it throughout the world.
I feel like we forget that because it gets painted as like American culture, when American culture is Black culture minus like slavery and like and, like.
Our culture is our culture. We live in America, of course, but our culture is our culture. And no, our culture is never going to be, I'm not going to brand our culture as no American culture because it's not. We have our own distinct culture, our own distinct group.
Colonization, terrorism, or whatever. And I think that people have so much access to our culture that it's been essentially diluted in a sense to where like you can't differentiate, like, not differentiate, but like it's become like more of like a pop culture.
And that's why right now we're cleaning it up. We're cleaning it up. We're preventing all this unfiltered access. We're finding out, who people are, where they come from, what's going on. Because for a long time we just had this, belief in flat blackness, and everybody else, like Ilhan Omar, for instance, she don't believe in flat blackness. She don't believe in we all of African descent. She believes in Somali. That's what she believes in. You understand? We open up the door for Ilhan Omar. Then when she come over here, she talking about she for Somali. She ain't for Black America. Even though her behind wouldn't have been over here, it wouldn't be for Black America. You understand? But when she come over here, she for Somali, okay?
Specifically Black American culture, and I feel like you saying clout chasing really doesn't make sense. I feel like people are clout chasing us.
100%. 100% what she just said, that people are clout chasing us, and that's people all over the globe, actually. It's clout chasing us. Y'all don't understand. If we, as Black Americans, would remove ourselves from everything and really get like these different Asian groups, Arab groups, the white community, Hispanic groups, even some people, some, not all, some, because I would never indict all of our brothers and sisters in the diaspora. There are some that's on that, like somebody like Ilhan Omar. I'm only for the Somalis, but then not all Somalis feel that way. But I'm talking about those who really think like that. If we really do that, right now, so many people are upset with Black America because we have said, you know what? Fine. We're going to let y'all handle y'all own issues and problems. Leave us alone. Because we got some other stuff over here we need to take care of. We ain't got no hate for nobody. We not disrespecting nobody unless you come disrespect us. But we cool with everybody. We love all y'all. But we're going to go over here and finally take care of Black American business for a change in America. We finally going to do that. And what they have been seeing happening, they are freaking the hell out. Everybody like, what is going on with them Black Americans? Why are they not saying nothing about what's happening in Israel and Palestine? Now, I saw some people in there talking about, there's some Black Americans talking about, no, they're not. No, we talking about the majority of Black Americans. We're not talking about issues that has nothing to do with what we got going on. I was like, I hope they figure that out. That's how I feel about it. But we got to talk about what's happening in Black America. I don't have the energy or the time to focus on conflicts that has nothing to do with Black America. Sorry, I don't. Let's talk about Black Americans. Now, I think there was 3 Black American soldiers that lost their life, I think in Jordan recently. Those Black Americans, they posted them all on TV and all of that. All these Black Americans, these soldiers, Black soldiers lost their life. Oh my God, look at these Black soldiers. And I'm sitting there thinking, because, they got a recruiting problem right now. And of course, my condolences go to the families, for sure. for those brothers and sisters lost their life. But they want us to jump back in and want us to go, full throttle back in the military and all of that. When I'm watching veterans, black veterans, talk about the racism in the military, hella racism. They're talking about how they don't get promoted. The same thing they deal with in the jobs, corporate America, same thing in the military. Same thing, literally, they're saying. You have black veterans that say, nah, if you're going to go get your education, sign up for one term and get out if you need it like that. That's what black veterans are saying. Black veterans who have retired from the military, saying if they can do it all over again, they wouldn't have done it because they don't like when they come home how they're treated in America, how black soldiers aren't respected. Black soldiers never respected. Y'all remember the Red Summer? Black American soldiers were put on trees in their uniform. They've never had respect for black soldiers. No matter what we have done for these people, they never had respect for us. Let's go back to the beginning. The Revolutionary War. Well, black people, if you help us get the British off our back, we will, release you from slavery. They couldn't even start the Revolutionary War on their own. They have never done nothing in this country without the black man and woman. Nothing. So Brother Crispus Attucks jumped off the Revolutionary War. It took him to do it. Not them, him, a black man. Revolutionary War, they win it. They're so excited. Oh, we start America July 4th, 1776. And the black folks say, yeah, all right, a new country. Cool, we won this war. Oh, no, put y'all back in chains. Could you imagine that? You fought in a war to not help them, more so to help your community, and then you get put back in chains. Could you imagine how those brothers and sisters felt at that time period? The betrayal of how they felt. That's why I cannot celebrate no July 4th. I can't do it because that's a day of betrayal for my ancestors who were put back in chains. They get so mad. We talking about Juneteenth. Oh, the Charlie Kirks and all them. They want two competing holidays. It's not a competing holiday. Our true freedom is June 19th, 1865. That's our Independence Day. I'm not celebrating you. That's a day of betrayal to my people. And we've always celebrated Juneteenth. So you fast forward to the Civil War. The South was whipping the butt of the North. The Confederates was winning. Abraham Lincoln, once again, had to go get black folk to help join the Union Army. And then they start winning battles and eventually won the Civil War. And then Lincoln, of course, he did the Emancipation Proclamation and all of that, and the rest is history. Of course, Reconstruction, when black folks are left alone, and we had protection from the Union troops for about a good, 10 or so years. Black folks thrived so quickly in that short amount of time. When we're left alone in our culture, we produce a lot of wealth, inventions. That's what we produce. My little grandson, he's doing some Black History project, is what he's doing. And he had one on brother George T. Sampson. Now, who's George T. Sampson, right? George T. Sampson, he was the first person to patent an automatic clothes dryer in 1892. See, when we come up on Black History Month, we got to look at Black History Month a little different than what we've been looking at it. Do you know that when we talk about our brother, Mr. Sampson, and when you look at that automatic clothes dryer that you may have in your home, I want you to look at that as an achievement of your Black American culture. Say, look, that's what my people did. Just like any other group say that. And I'm fine with that. But look at the automatic clothes dryer and say that's Black American culture. Because see, What the folks want to do is just want to shape your mind to think, well, all we do is hip hop and R&B. That's like a minuscule on the things that we have done. We have just about innovated every genre of music in this country. But if you look at an automatic clothes dryer, a black man from your culture, that's what he did. And not only that, your culture is all over the world. Because I've been to many countries and they got an automatic clothes dryer there. So start looking at the inventions as your culture. Medical advancements that's been done as part of your culture. When you look at the red light, that's your culture. Don't let nobody try to relegate your culture to some doggone hip hop and try to make you feel bad about it. Because if our people's actually on code, the people that control the music industry will go broke tomorrow. Because those artists who get out there doing that, we live in a time period that you don't even need a label no more. And I wish one day our young people wake up and say, wait a minute, why in the hell are we signing deals? And they're getting this 360 deal when I don't need them to. Why are they getting all my money? Why? I can go buy a beat from somebody myself. I can pay for studio time. I can pay for it to get mixed and mastered. I can hire a graphic designer to do me some album covers and all of that. I can hire somebody to make music videos for me or whatever. I can get my person that I like or whatever. Put this mess out on all these streaming platforms. I can go do shows all over the world, because that's the thing. Y'all hip hop artists, y'all missing out on a lot of money. Y'all can go do so many shows in Europe. Y'all can do shows in Asia. Y'all can go do shows on the African continent. So many places, the Caribbean. Be open. You don't need a deal. All you need is the drive. Be hot on, make sure you do your online game right. Get a good team around you. You don't need a deal. So many artists had deals to come back and tell you don't need a deal. What do you need a music label for? They give you a deal, and every little thing you use, they take it away from you. You don't get no money out of it. Who was one of them that talked about their deals messed up? Summer Walker, how her deals was so jacked up. That girl got so much talent, she don't need no freaking label for anything. The moment in that industry, hip hop, R&B, all that, they realize that it's not gonna be they won't be in control no more. The control will be done, and that's what we need to do, is take that part of our culture back. If you don't control your culture and let other people control, because listen, too many people make money off our culture. Look at these sports leagues, the NFL, NBA. If we actually got on code, we don't need the NFL, NBA to do nothing. Or at minimum, since so many black men play those sports, they can say, nah, we're not playing a down of football at all until we see at least 50% of the coaches in this league is black and 50% of the owners in this league is black. Period. Oh, we just gonna sit it out. We good. We'll walk away from it. They treat them brothers like some plantation owners, and then the folks come in. Well, they're not slaves. They make good money. They make pennies compared to what Jerry Jones get paid. You know what I'm saying? They always trying, because that's another thing. They love to pocket watch a black man or woman. A few of us got a little money, right? But we make these teams hot. Our culture. Whatever we touch, we make. Listen, this thing I got right here to put on the wall. If we get behind this right here, what I got in my hand, we'll make that hot. And everybody in their mama want to buy it. No matter what we touch, we turn to gold. We are the people that have the true Midas touch. Anything we touch turn gold. Collectively. That's why so many different groups of people want to use even our collective voice. So many people are upset with us because we don't speak for other people no more like we used to. We used to go out there and jump in front of everybody and say, yeah, don't treat them like that. They're minorities too. And And now we have been like, okay. Do you? I mean, we gonna kind of worry about these reparations over here. Black people, what's wrong with y'all? Like, what happened? Like, where y'all at? Remember Juliana Margulies was upset with the black community? Remember Michael Rappaport talking about we making a list and we gonna check it and all that? Like, making a list for what? Because black people minding their own business? How many times have black people have been mowed down in the streets? Like, where were you at, sir? Well, we came out there for George Floyd. Did we ask you to? And then for you to throw it back in black people's face means you wasn't out there for the right reason. I want y'all to always remember that. When somebody try to throw it up in your face, we protested for George Floyd. We was out there with Martin Luther King. Why are you telling me that? You did that for yourself. You didn't do that for us. Because when somebody throw it in your face what they done for you or what they supposedly did for you, it lets you know they didn't do it with the right heart. So that doesn't impress me because you did that. I didn't ask you to. I didn't call your phone. Black folks are we have done everything on our own. In the 1960s, we didn't beg nobody to get out there. We did everything on our own. And we can do it all our own now. We don't need nobody. If all 47 million of us was on code, that's a lot of people. That's a lot of people to get some things done. Hell, even if half of our community was on code, just half, we'll get a lot done. Hell, if 20% of us is on code, we'll be so much on code, the other one's gonna have to fall in line. We don't need, listen, all this, well, we need allies. No, we don't. Because them same allies would never put their life on the line for us. Them same allies don't want to lose anything. So no, we got it. We can handle it all by ourselves. We got it. Don't get into that begging for allies. But I want y'all to look at, and don't let people gaslight you either. That's something else people do. Don't let them gaslight you. They'll say, because you want to love your culture, you hate other people. That is a tactic that's very wicked. So I have to hate myself. I have to have low self-esteem. I have to have all of that so I don't seem hateful. I didn't say any hateful words. I didn't call anybody a name. But it's okay for you to have your parade. It's okay for you to have your celebration. That's okay. But when it comes to us, it's we hate people. No, we're not going to be in a position of a slave. And that's what y'all used to. You're used to black Americans being your doggone slave. A slave defends everybody and never defend him or herself. A slave serves everybody and never serve themselves. A slave is put here to protect the interests of others and not themselves. And have you noticed, as a community, we're starting to get more done as we have been kind of centering ourselves on ourselves? Because see, forever we was over here doing all these side quests and leaving home undone. And while we're leaving home undone, the white supremacists is just picking that apart constantly. Because we all on these other side quests. And then this the deal. I don't mind partnering up with anybody and truly allying with somebody, but an ally, that's a two-way street. And what happened with these so-called allies, they come run behind us, we fight for them, but then they don't give us the same thing in return. Prime example, we have fought so much, I remember for the Asian community. Look at Muhammad Ali, put his career on the line, even went to jail because he said, I'm not going to no Vietnam. He said, ain't no Viet Cong done nothing to me. He said, he never called me no N-word. He said, I'm going to stay here fighting you. Right? Honorable. But then you look up in 21 or so, Biden sitting up here signing, you know what? Let me see if I can pull that up. Give me a second. Let me see here. Where is it at? Oh boy. So I can pull that. I had that video over here. Let me see what's the name of that video. I keep it in my folder. Let me see here. Okay, there you go. Give me a second. And I use this a lot on my podcasts. This video right here, I play it a lot on my podcast. See, our friends in the Asian community right here, they didn't come out and say, hey, why can we add our black friends to this bill? You understand? Why? If we truly had allies, they would have never did this without the black community. Because the black community leads in being in victims of hate crimes. But did our Asian allies say, hey, let's go on and get our black friends there because they fought for us, they stood up for us? No. When they get things, they only look out for themselves. So you know what? We good. We good. We can play videos all day of other groups, how we fought for them constantly. We fought for immigration. I was even reading about in the 1980s how Jesse Jackson was down there on the border fighting for, people of Latin descent to come in here saying they minorities too, and they treated bad, and the U.S. done this and that and the third in their countries, which that part is true. But our leaders constantly fighting for them. Their own leaders didn't fight for themselves. And then you fast forward to, you see people like Sheriff Villanueva in freaking California, in the L.A. Sheriff's Department, whole white supremacist gangs, and you look into who in the gangs, a bunch of people that we fought for, targeting black folk. But we supposed to go and fight for immigration now, right? Democrats? Or what about in the 90s when they was having all-out wars with black folk? Or how black people was terrorized by the same people and their descendants that black folks went down to the border and fight for. This is why black folks say, no, I'm cool on the immigration. No. We learn when these people come in, we importing hostiles. We're not importing friendlies. And then you still got some black folks who are progressive Democrats will constantly try to defend that. But like I tell them, well, go ahead on and call Biden and give him your address so you can send some new friends to live at your house. And you feed them and clothe them and everything. But we are don't let nobody shame you about our culture. Don't let nobody shame you. Nobody. Be proud. Be loud about it. Teach your children our history. Make your children proud of our culture. Because listen, just as much as when you have the Caribbean festivals, and I've been to the Caribbean festival, I enjoyed myself. Oh, I love it, going to the Caribbean festival. I'm not upset that they're supporting them. I don't take issue with them doing their thing. I'm cool. Hey, Nigerian independence. Hey, you invite me to something, I'll go. I'll chill out with y'all. I'm cool. Like I said, we distant cousins, so it's good, right? Now, if you on something different, or I don't like him, okay, well, it's people in your family you don't like. That's understandable. They got some distant cousins, even in my own family, I don't fool with, or even some cousins or, others in the family. I don't fool with him or her. So that happens in all families. I get it. But don't tell us that we can't be proud of our independence or proud of different things. And another thing, don't try to cosplay black. This is another issue we got to start addressing a little bit more. Don't try to come in cosplaying a black American to get resources. And then when you get this resource, you don't want to be black American no more. In other words, like, if something like Juneteenth come up, you trying to get a Juneteenth scholarship. I don't think if you're not part of the culture, you should get that because Juneteenth is only significant to Black Americans. That'd be like me trying to get a scholarship that belongs to, someone in Nigeria. If it's a Nigerian independence scholarship and here I come trying to get it. I'm not Nigerian, so why should I be getting that? I don't want it because I'm not Nigerian. It should go to a Nigerian. But most Black Americans feel that way. We're not trying to come and cosplay a Nigerian or cosplay somebody else and try to get resources. But over here, it's like people come and they want to try to cosplay us, but at the same time, some of you be like Ilhan Omar. I'm Somali. I ain't Black. Okay, well, get the Somali scholarship. I'm like saying, and there's no hate in that. It's just the truth. Let's be honest. We as Black Americans have been the leaders and the biggest preachers of, hey, everybody Black across the world. And so we all need to come together. We have preached that. And then when people, of course, I explained to y'all before, the American, embassies, they vet the people that come here and they don't want people to come here to unify with us. I get it. And if some of them come, some of them have been told by the folks, stay away from the Black Americans. Listen, I listen, I'm going to tell every side part of the story. Right? But when Black Americans start doing what everybody else is doing, now it's an issue, a problem. Then some people say when they hear that, oh, well, I thought you believed in Pan-Africanism and this and that and the third. I don't like the term Pan-Africanism personally because of what it entails. Basically, the term Pan-Africanism, we should connect with all Black people globally, all African people globally, right? You can't connect with every person because some people are no good. I'd rather say I believe in connecting with like-minded people who are Black throughout the world. Oh, I believe that I'll work with you. But just because you Black or of African descent, I'm going to connect with you? No. Because some of you are no good. Some of you in Black America are no good. I don't want to connect with you either. So I'm looking for the good people to connect with, not just any old body, because that's how you get infiltrated. That's how people bring dissension and cause problems. You don't connect with any old body just because they Black like me. If that's the case, that's how many of our organizations, even in America, was infiltrated and destroyed, because we just did this flat Blackness and not looking at intention, not looking at if this is a good person or not, what's their track record, where they come from. Like, look, in Black American culture, the first thing when you meet people, they'll say, hey, where you people from? That's constant. People think that when you ask that question now, that's so offensive. Why you keep asking where we from? Well, does that matter? Yeah, it matters. Even in Black America, you're asked where you from. Hey, where you people from? Oh, well, originally I'm from Port Arthur. Okay, what's your grandma's name? Tell me your grandma's name, And where's she originally from? Oh, she originally from Rain, Louisiana. Oh, okay, right. Yeah. I know that family, or I know of that family from Rain, and this and that. And they start connecting to see if they kind of know you or not. Now, if you come from a messed up family and it's known in the streets, then they like, you from that family? Oh, okay. And then they pull their family member to the side, maybe their daughter, their son. Hey, I know that family that young lady come from. Them people, them people are criminals. Them people are scam. Them people this and that and the third. Like, that's how they always ask where you from. That's always constant in Black America. Where you from says a lot. Who your family is. So when we ask you in this country and we hear certain things you're saying, hey, where you people from? Oh, okay. Oh, that makes sense. Okay. Something you saying? Okay, I got it. Because certain mindsets also come from where you from. Even certain parts of the country. In America, certain mindsets are in certain areas that's maybe not in others. And just like certain mindsets are in the diaspora that's not here. So we want to know kind of like where you come from, because we don't want to judge you off of what I think you should know here from this culture when you come from a totally different culture, because maybe I need to explain to you something that you're not getting because you're not from this culture. So it's not always something bad when we ask you, hey, what I hear your accent. Where you people from? That's not an offensive thing. I've been asked many times. I'm still asked now, hey, where you from? I'm asked that. I don't get offended. Why are you asking me that? Well, Abdul, you talking about Donald Trump. I talk a little bit more of that stuff on the podcast. But yeah, Donald Trump, he do need to, black folks need to go talk to him and say, hey, Donald Trump, you want the black vote? Cool. What are you going to do specifically for black Americans? I told people Donald Trump is so narcissist, and we all know he is. Donald Trump, believe it or not, if you can convince him reparations would be so beneficial to him and how it's going to make him look good and how he would be the greatest president in American history if he did that, and how black people would be voting Republican like forever because of that. Because think about it. When they did the Civil Rights Bill, that's how black folks started voting Democrat. So let's say if Trump got in office and Trump's like, yeah, okay, and then he do it. Trump, in them, he sent out what, stimulus checks? Even though, the Democrats are like, we voted on that, and you and the guy that would be for us too. Okay, but Trump was smart enough because he knows more about branding than y'all do and made sure his name was signed on it. So in the minds of people, they say, Trump sent me this check. So just for stimulus checks, you got black people saying, man, yeah, I kind of want Trump, man. He did put some money in my pocket. Now, you imagine if Trump had did reparations, how black folks would be talking about Trump? I'm telling you, but the problem is guys like Tim Scott, who's just a bootlick, man. He look, y'all don't realize some of you bootlicks, Tim Scott, if you listen to this, Tim Scott, don't bootlick to the point where it looks fake. Like when you did that thing, oh, I just love you so much. Trump's, you heard, if y'all don't listen to that, Trump said, yeah, okay, yeah, he's a politician. But Trump was telling you, I know you fake. He said it to your face. He didn't hide it. He knew you being fake. You're doing too much. Ramaswamy, he another one. He was doing too much. Trump had to tell him. Like, isn't that embarrassing that Trump like checking y'all in front of everybody about y'all bootlicking? And what I don't understand, Ramaswamy, he's like, what, a $500 million? Why are you bootlicking anybody? Like, I think it's sad to watch a man that got that much money bootlicking. Like, bruh, you got money. You ain't got to bootlick nobody. But them other groups like that, they don't mind doing that because they're trying to get under whiteness. Tim Scott, he'll never get there. You don't marry about this single mother he's so-called about to marry of 3 children. It don't matter if he married that woman. He still never get in. His skin will never let him in. Oh, boy, Tim Scott. I shake my head at him. Don't bootlick so hard that they calling you out. And trust me, the white supremacists, they don't trust y'all when y'all do that. I hope you know that. Like, I tell this story all the time. I did an interview years ago, and I was on a radio show. And there was a white nationalist on this radio show, and I asked him a specific question, what he thought about the bootlicks, like Tim Scott. And he said that, well, we would use them to say things that we can't say. He said, but at the end of the day, we really don't trust them, because if they were willing to turn against their own race for us, then we can't trust them. He said, because why would you turn against your own race for somebody else? And when that white nationalist said that, I was like, okay. And they gave me a different perspective on how they really think about them. And the white nationalist is right. How are you going to turn against your own people for somebody else like that? And then make yourself look so dumb on TV, telling another man, I just love you. Like, what are we on? The plantation, bruh? You a whole U.S. senator telling another grown man that? Like, man, that was weird. That was so weird. I didn't like that at all. And I'm glad Trump called you out. Oh, I'm so glad Trump called you out. He didn't let that slide. And Trump looked at you like you were weird too. Shout out to Trump for that. But that same fool, America is not a racist country, and also Kamala Harris said it too. So Democrats don't say, oh, he getting on Tim Scott tonight, the Republicans. Yeah, and I'm going to circle back to Kamala because she said it too, right after him. America isn't a racist country. But then but that's your sister girl, right? Chucks and Pearls. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us on the the stream here on African Diaspora. Make sure if you haven't, join us on the African Diaspora News Channel app. It's very important you do. We try to get to our 10,000 members in 2024. Your help for that will be awesome. The filming we're going to do in South Africa and different things, we're going to only put it there. We'll put the clips here and there, but we creating new series that's going to be coming up on the app. So you want to be over there and not miss anything that we're doing. When you sign in or make sure you join a paid membership. We greatly appreciate it. So thank y'all for listening. And make sure you join us on the podcast for 10 p.m. Central Standard Time. And we be going in about something current that happened. It's kind of making me shake my head. It will make you shake your head as well.